Hi Aries, we'll get straight into it, Aries, and see what's happening. Okay, starting off with the first column here, you have the Sun and the Eight of Chalices. The Sun card is a beautiful card of blessings, divinity. It's you in your element. It's you coming into your power. So for some, career is going to be on a very, very high note, or perhaps has been on a very, very high note with the Sun card. There's new ideas. There's new generation of wealth. With the Child here, it could also indicate that there's higher learning or development that may be attached in the form of a training seminar, in the form of a course or a certification that might be offered to you from your employer, in the form of learning about business, learning about business management, learning how to open up a new business. Beautiful things here with the Sun card. Absolutely wonderful things here with the Sun card. However, it is contradicted with the Eight of Chalices, because in the Eight of Chalices, in this particular deck, it signifies fantasies, improbability, illusions, daydreaming. So for some of you, I feel like you have these grand plans that you'd like to implement, Aries. However, you're holding yourself back in a way because perhaps you aren't committing to the practical side of things because you're too busy just daydreaming and not taking the right steps in helping to bring forth this creation. And that's okay. This is where it starts. It starts in the mind. It all starts with visualization, with mental and interning planning before we do the practical. So for some, it's not a bad message. That's not to say, oh, you're having too many fantasies about something that won't come true for you, for something that's improbable. But I feel for some of you, you are limited by this, perhaps a natural negativity that comes in your mind that says, no, you can't do this right now, or how are you going to achieve this right now? So I think right now there could be a bit of a ping pong tennis match going on upstairs for you because you haven't started implementing the practical steps. And that's okay. For some, there is a message that you need to keep visualizing and creating in your mind what it is that you're wanting to see in terms of business, or where you'd like to gain higher learning, or where you'd like to be in the company. There could be growth for some of you. I feel there's a real opportunity to grow over the next coming months at the workplace, which is really, really positive. For some, I feel like there's a job opportunity around you, or perhaps you're wanting to go into something, but it won't be everything that you think it will be. So how to say this? I feel as though you have conjured up a certain preconceived notion about a job or a career choice, and for those that will pursue it, will actually in hindsight see it might not be everything they thought it was. That's probably the best way I can articulate that. But there's definitely beautiful blessings that are coming in with the Sun card. But on the other side of the spectrum, as I said, they do contradict each other. On the other side of the spectrum, I feel as though you need to look into things carefully, because not all is what it seems here for some. Not for all, but for some of you. Because the next column over, you have the Five of Cups with the Four of Swords. Now, both these cards have an underlying message that is very, very similar. It speaks about solitude, looking within, spirituality, self-reliance, withdrawal. There could be barriers or obstacles that might be coming up for you in your career path, but there's a certain sadness with the Five of Cups here. And I feel as though you have resources that you haven't tapped into beforehand, because I think you'll be seeing what's in front of you, what you can see that's most obvious. But in hindsight, I feel as though there's some sort of support network or people. It could be up to 2 colleagues, 2 friends, or resources that you have behind you that you aren't yet tapping into, Aries. So for some, it's about delving deeper in your career and having the need to have that solitude. But again, it could come in the form of something autonomous, whether it's a self-business or a role that is that is autonomous. You do travel alone, you work alone, you don't have that team, or you might not receive that team yet. There could also be someone with a drinking addiction around you at work. You know, if it's not you, it could be someone else around you that's addicted to something or is going through depression or anxiety. There's a certain sadness that comes with the Five of Cups, so this could be significant for you for one reason or another. Someone you work with might leave, or a project might fall apart, a business venture might fall apart. And this is where you seek that self-reliance with the Four of Swords and have that solitude, because there's a block of some kind. We see these crosses here, and this could be significant for you, crosses of some kind, you know, these sort of X marks the spot, or there might be a form that you might have to fill in and you distinctly have to enter in like an X instead of a tick. This could be possible for some of you. I feel like it'll follow each other, so it could be something to do with the 4 and 5, or, you know, for the next 4 or 5 months, 4 or 5 weeks, or in 4 or 5 months' time, this could happen. This is when you sort of approach this sort of time here. But something's spilt here, so something's lost. I almost feel like something might slip through your fingers. I almost think like it's water or sand that's coming through your fingers, and you can't retract all of it. You can't retain all of it for one reason or another. And it's going, you know, and you don't like when things happen like this, Aries. So of course it's going to make you feel a certain way. So just, you know, you certainly have the fire in your belly, you have motivation, you have perseverance and resilience like no other. So it's certainly something you can move through, because you do have the Sun card, and that is the Aries. This is you in your power. This is you doing what you do best: commanding, deliberating, fighting, persevering, breaking through. This is what you do best, Aries. So you need to be tactful, and you need to delve into this. You need to tap into this fierceness that you have. So next column over, you have the Six of Pentacles and the Death card. I'm not sure before if I said the Devil or the Death card here, but it is the Death card. But what's significant about these two cards is that they both contain the scales, which is Libran energy. It can be a Libra coming in around you, or it could indicate that the scales of justice are coming into the workplace. This could come in the form of a business being audited, whether it's the company you work for or your business being audited, or your money, by whoever, the taxation office, the IRS. Someone is getting involved because someone's getting even here, or the justice system is getting involved here with the scales, and it's putting an ending to injustice, because the Death card is symbolic of an ending. So it's putting an ending to injustice. There's a final verdict that's coming in for some of you. So I'm not sure if you've been asking for help, if you had a work compensation case because of injury, you've been asking or needing financial help. The company may give you justice, so you might finally receive a verdict or justice, income, dividends because of this injury or this court case. So I feel for some of you, Aries, that are undergoing this, there's a verdict that's coming in because of death. This is a major, major verdict. There's deliberation, because we see the jackal-headed Anubis god, and of course he would weigh up the heart with the feather of truth to see how pure, how righteous, how honest, how dignifying you performed in your life, I suppose. But in this case, it's a career reading. So someone is potentially scrutinizing your work ethic, your sincerity. And I really feel it's in the form of an audit or something to do with finances, or where finances have been spent. But I love that there's the scales of justice, and they're so evenly balanced, the two of them, that I think there's good things that are coming from this. Again, major endings. The scales will tip in your favor, and there'll be a major ending to a career, to a job, to a business maybe. The scales might be significant for you for one reason or another, whether you work in personal fitness, in training, weight loss programs, making money off weight loss programs, making money off the judicial system somehow. In cooking, whatever the scales can show up in, they can show up in a wide variety of things. Measuring food, measuring metals. But I feel like it's a major balance because the Death card is here. So if there's been a period of injustice, justice will be served. If there's been a period of smooth sailing and everything's been going great, there's an audit coming, or there's potentially something that could be very, very altering in the business. Because the Death card is a major ending, you're putting a major ending to something here. And as I said, there is a lone figure here. So again, this could be branching out on your own. The ending of a thought pattern, the ending of a job. Choices, and conflict with the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles in this deck is distribution of goods. It's division of goods, it's dispersal, and it's fairness. So I love to see that this card does actually follow the Death card, the Judgment card, because definitely funds or dividends are coming for those that are awaiting them, or that, finally getting that salary they feel worthy of getting. Or if you've been encountering, stresses, because the Three of Swords can indicate stress in the career, conflicted between career paths, or, perhaps there's been a messy ordeal in your career. I feel like there's a distribution here, a very even, beautiful energy with the Four. It's an even number. There's a division that's coming. So, and I love that it's the 3 and 4. So after this conflict, goodness and fairness will follow. So again, prevailing from something, Aries, but for some there's a division of finances here. For some, there's a new team member. If you're understaffed, there's a new team member coming on board, and it's going to make you feel there's like relief with these cards here. The Three of Swords can be this internal struggle that's going on at work. Maybe there's been stresses going on at work, but deliberation, and I always feel like there's a seal, sign, and delivered concept or notion to these cards here. The Three of Swords. There could be a love situation that's going on here. Again, it could be because someone is walking away. Someone is walking away from the workplace, maybe. Or someone you are romantically interested in is moving away to a different department or role. Because I see the sadness, something to do with the 3. There could be a lover's triangle going on for some of you, but I really just want to focus on the career side of things, the professionalism and work ethic. 3 people, 3 team members might leave, but you have resources behind you. You're just not seeing them yet, Aries. Again, for some of you, you're going into sort of this field where you're either making money off health, scales, children, relationships, blogging. This is potentially it as well. But I love the Four of Pentacles. This is money. This is you getting dividends in the form of an incentive, a bonus scheme structure, commissions. Seeking truth, seeking justice within your career, within the workplace maybe as well. Priestess of Intellect, wising up about a situation, doing thorough research. This could be higher learning. So again, with a child, it can indicate that there's higher learning that's coming in around you. Could very well be between August 5th to September 1st, a higher course, a very intellectual friend that's coming in here. Could be a Libra, could be a fellow Aries, or you just gaining more insight into something that's happening around you. It could be that you're learning about something that's happening. Either you'll learn about this audit, you'll learn about these finances, this exchange, you'll learn about this change that might be happening about within the business. Or it could be where a lot is placed on you, where you really have to be quite creative and innovative and be thinking on your feet. And it might be a period where it's very, very demanding, but it's not something you'll struggle in, I don't think, Aries. Independent research is what I'm getting from this spread, along with the Priestess of Intellect. Whether it's independent research because something's happening internally within the company that you think you can help with, or that you think is unfair, or that you think an ending needs to be put to, or independent research to start your own business, to usher in a new beginning. Put an ending to something and a new beginning and start off very balanced, maybe, because there's scales here. There's also like this charity contribution or sponsorship that's coming up. So the company you work for or your own business might sponsor a charity event in the next coming months as well here. And you might have to do that independent research. Okay, the Priestess of Beauty. Creativeness. This can be exterior beauty. This could be that you're revamping your office. Maybe the office is getting a renovation, you're getting new furniture, you're making the place look more stylish. Maybe you're getting into interior design or the beauty industry. Whatever it is about creativity, making something harmonious, making things look beautiful again, making things understandable, making things look creative, innovativeness with the Priestess of Beauty, creativity. And if it's an autonomy, then you're beautifying something, you're making something look a certain way. There's representation here, whether you yourself representing someone, representing an idea, representing a company, being a brand ambassador with the Priestess of Beauty here. But this is also inner creativity, purity, inner being with the Priestess of Aries, having genuine passion for what it is that you're doing, making things look neat and presentable, tidying things up potentially, tying up loose ends. Again, as I said, there could be a romance going on here with the Priestess of Beauty and the Three of Swords, a third-party situation or a romance. Do have lots of strong reds, so lust maybe, passion, fire, temperament. I feel like you're coming into different phases. We see the different phases of the moon. So you'll pass a lot of different phases over the next coming months. One month will be quite different from the other, I feel, with the Priestess of Beauty. But beautifying something, as I said, could be a website, your office, the company, repainting, redecorating of some kind here. Okay, Priestess of Protection has been coming up for a lot of people. So I don't know if it's like organizations are really going after companies like the giants, the IRS, the ATO, they're going after people. But again, the need to protect yourself, protect your finances. As I said, it could be someone that's manipulating you with finances, manipulating, not showing you, not giving you what you're entitled to legally or financially. The Priestess of Protection, there is the need to guide yourself. Protect what can be lost, protect what is lost, protect your finances, what you're entitled to, protecting your business, copyrights, laws, legislations, auditing finances, protecting your creative idea. So if you're starting a new idea, a new photography page, a manuscript, a scholarly paper, clinical trials, whatever it is that you're creating that is your own, you need to protect this idea, and you need to do that independent and thorough research as well. So, but all in all, Aries, I do wish you, a lovely few months up ahead in your career. All the best.